The story model is a model that is used every waking moment of the day. When you understand this model, you will see it happening all the time. Now, what's the importance of the story model? The importance of the story model is to understand what specifically is happening and why. So let's check this out. If we draw a big circle, at 12 o'clock, I want you to think something happens. Now, something happens can be anything, whether it is a team member joining your team, whether it is a deal getting closed, whether it's an action of lead generation happening, whether it is anything. Anything happens is what starts the story model. Then at 2 o'clock, I want you to write a reaction is created. So if we go to the example of, let's take a sales happening. Yep. If we take an example of business, inside of business, you make your biggest sale ever. So that's something that happened. A reaction is, holy cow, I just had my biggest sale ever. That's at 2 o'clock. At 4 o'clock on the story model, I want you to write, judgment is formed. What does judgment is formed mean? Judgment means that you, after something has happened, create judgment around that happening. So for example, let's say you're in a deal and you have your biggest deal close ever. You reacted to that with joy. You formed a judgment that this sure is easy. And then we go into the story portion of the story model, and that's at 6 o'clock. So at 6 o'clock, story is created. So as you create this story in your head, something happened. We had our biggest sale ever. We created a reaction around it. We got super excited. We formed judgment. Man, that sure was an easy transaction. The story is, I'm going to be an incredible salesperson. Now, the next portion of the story model is we seek evidence for that story that we created. So at 8 o'clock on your dial, I want you to write seeks evidence. Now the seeking evidence portion of the story model is just that. We're seeking evidence to the story that we just created. And the story as it relates to our example here is that closing a big transaction is really easy and you're going to do it over and over again. So in the story model, you're going to seek evidence. Now, the last thing that I want you to write in the 10 o'clock section is a new future is created. The new future is created section of the story model is just that. After we have told ourselves in the story that this is going to be super easy and you're going to do it again, you're going to go seek evidence to understand how to go do that. And as you seek that evidence, you're going to take the action necessary to create that new future. And as a new future is created, guess what? Something is going to happen again. Okay, now what I want you to do, after a new future is created, I want you to draw an infinity symbol around a story is created and something happens. And the idea around that infinity symbol is simple. That happens every single waking moment. You watching this video right now is something happening. You are creating a story in your head right now of whatever it is around this video. That is the infinity loop that happens with the story model, and it happens every waking moment. So now what I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to this story model and see it showing up. I want you to see something happen. I want you to see the reaction. I want you to understand the judgment, and I want you to understand the formation of the story. As that formation is happening, are you out seeking evidence, and then do you create yourself a new future? So what is the story model used for in practical purposes in business or in any form from that standpoint? It's really an awareness model. And the opportunity to be aware that something is happening and you are creating a story around it is truly an important part of the story model.